viṣayā vinivartante nirāhārasya dehinaḥ rasa-varjaṁ rasopi asya paraṁ dṛṣṭvā nivartate. Those who are Sanskrit students may recite this important. Viṣayā vinivartante nirāhārasya dehinaḥ rasa-varjaṁ rasopasya paraṁ dṛṣṭvā nivartate. Yatato yapi kaunteya puruṣasya vipaścitaḥ indriyāṇi pramāthīni haranti prasabhaṁ manaḥ vāni sarvāṇi saṁyamya yukta āsīta mat-paraḥ vaśe yasya indriyāṇi tasya prajñā pratisthita. viṣayā vinivartante nirāhārasya dehinaḥ rasa-varjaṁ rasopi asya paraṁ dṛṣṭvā nivartate. This verse we were discussing last Friday. The subject matter is that we are trying to transfer our activities from the material platform to the spiritual platform. That is the whole idea. Now, material platform, as I have already explained to you several times, material platform means viṣayā. Viṣayā means four things. Ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithun. Eating, sleeping, and defending, and mating. These are called viṣayā. The materialistic way of life means these four things: eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, sense gratification. But if we want to go to the spiritual platform, then these bodily demands, at least for the present, we have to regulate. We cannot enjoy material life without any restriction, and at the same time we can stand on the spiritual platform. That is the whole thing. The typical problem is there. We want to be spiritualists by speculation only. That is the whole tendency. People are much interested in philosophical speculation without any practical life. In the modern world, it is said, jasorthe dharmajajanam. This is the symptom of this age. Jaso arthe. I want to associate with some organization, spiritual, just for the sake of name. Oh, I am attached to that such big organization. But so far my life is concerned, it is as it is. As it is. I have seen that, I don't wish to name that particular, in some yoga institute, I have seen the members, they come, they hear, and they are hearing and coming. for the last 10 years. But unfortunately, they have not learnt even the preliminary instruction of yoga. Yoga, the whole process of yoga means indriyāṇi, controlling the senses. Controlling the senses. But I've seen they have no control over senses. This whole yoga process means the controlling the senses, nothing more. The hatha yoga means by different practice of asana, posture, or sitting posture, or breathing posture. All this means concentrating myself, focusing my attention to the super soul. And because our mind is disturbed, because our mind is distributed in so many engagements, therefore the yogic process is a mechanical process by which we can drag the mind from outside engagement to inner side and focus the same for perceiving or for realizing the super soul. So, in the preliminary stage, that one is required to control the senses. Uncontrolled sense will drag me to the material plane. Adanta gobhi viṣayā tamisram punah punachar vitacharvanāṇam. There is a very nice verse in Bhagavata. Matinna krishne parato sato va mitho vipaddita grihabhritāṇam adanta gobhi viṣayā tamisram punah punachar vitacharvanāṇam. The purpose is that those who are uncontrolled of their senses and those whose mind is fixed up only for this material enjoyment, they cannot enter into the sphere of spiritual life. Mati na Krishna. This Krishna philosophy, Krishna consciousness, mati means attention. The attention to Krishna consciousness, matinna Krishna, parato satova. Even by hearing instruction from learned, transcendentalists, or by self-study. Parato means taking lessons or taking instruction from others. And sato means by self-culture. Matinna Krishna parato satova mithova by assembly. By assembly. No, it will never be. Matinna Krishna parato satova mitho vipaddita grihabhritāṇam. Grihabhritāṇam means, griha means house, and brata means bhav. One who has made his bhav that this worldly life, eat, drink, be merry and enjoy, this is all in all. For them, there is no question of spiritual life. We have to decide it, that spiritual life and material life, they are different angles of vision. If we give more stress to the material life, material way of life, then it is not possible to have any spiritual realization or spiritual emancipation. Those things. Because the whole idea is, as we are discussing for several weeks, that I am spirit, pure consciousness. I have been put to this material contact somehow or other, without tracing the history and how I have put into. But the fact is that I am put into this material circumstances, and therefore, due to my material condition of life, I am undergoing miseries, so many miseries. So the whole idea is that I have to get out of this material contact and reinstate myself in the pure spiritual life, so that I shall be free from all misery. Because spirit soul as it is, in its pure form, it is Satchidananda. It is eternal, it is blissful, and it is full of knowledge. So the whole program is there. So viṣayā vinivartante is still even the yoga system by mechanical process, concentrating the mind and dragging the mind from other engagement, that is also forceful. That is also forceful. Because by some artificial means, because first thing is that I am not this body. Still, I am trying to control my senses by some bodily activities. Therefore, it is some or other, it is artificial. And as I last day, I cited one example that a great yogi, just like Vishwamitra, he practiced yoga and he rose to the highest platform, but still he failed to control his senses. He came in contact with Menaka, a society woman of the heaven, and Shakuntala was born. So, here Bhagavad Gita says that viṣayā vinivartante nirāhārasya dehinaḥ. There are some rules and regulations for drying up our sensual activities, artificial drying up. Just like you are not to eat more than once. You are not to do this, you are not to do this. So many negative thoughts. Just like a diseased fellow. A diseased fellow is advised by the physician to refrain from so many things. Similarly, there are rules and regulations for controlling the mind, for restraining the senses. There are so many rules and regulations. But still, those regulations, those restrictive regulations may also fail. There are so many instances. But here, the process which is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita, dovetailing your consciousness with the Supreme Consciousness, that is the highest. That is the highest. Rasa-varjaṁ rasopi asya paraṁ dṛṣṭvā nivartate. Paraṁ dṛṣṭvā. In other processes, you have to, I am giving some practical example. Just like in the yogic process, there is strict regulation that you cannot eat this, you cannot eat this, you shall have to eat like this, you shall have to sit like this, you have to breathe like this, so many restrictions. But if you dovetail your consciousness with the Supreme Consciousness, so in spite of, without being restriction, you will not like the restricted things. Rasa-varjaṁ rasopi asya paraṁ dṛṣṭvā. You will dislike those restricted things. One process is that by force I am asking you, do not do this. But another process is that you have become so much elevated that you do not like to do this yourself. Just like The other day I cited the example of Jamunacharya. Jamunacharya says that so since I have adopted my consciousness, the supreme consciousness of Krishna, Jadavadi mamachitta Krishna padara vinde, so long my consciousness has been fixed up in the transcendental service of Krishna. Tadavadi, since that, even if I think of sex life, it becomes, my face becomes turned, and I wish to fight on it. So why? That one thing is, that one process is applying that you should restrict from this. The another process is that without even restriction, you do not like to do it. So this process is so perfect. Krishna says that rasopi, even if you have that desire, so you do not like to use it. Although you have got the privilege, but you are at liberty, but you do not like to do it. Rasopi asya, rasa-varjaṁ, rasopi asya. Although he has all the full capacity, not that he has become important or he has no capacity for such life. In spite of his having all strength and all capacity, still he does not like. Oh, this is what? That stage comes. Rasopi, rasa-varjaṁ, rasopi asya paraṁ. Why? He has got some superior things, superior sex life in which he wants to engage himself. So this process is so perfect. The other process of restraining the senses from enjoyment, that is forced, but that forceful enjoyment may not stand. It may fail sometimes. But this process, having adopted oneself in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord, one becomes completely detached from all these viṣayā. Viṣayā means eating, sleeping, defending and mating. Yatato jhapi kaunteya puruṣasya vipaścitaḥ indriyāṇi pramāthīni haranti prasabhaṁ manaḥ. Our mind is so strong and so uncontrolled that even though we artificially try to control our senses, still sometimes at a certain period we fail, just like Vishwamitra Muni failed. Yatatopi kaunteya puruṣasya vipaścitaḥ. Vipaścitaḥ means a very learned man, and still trying. Not ordinary man, but learned man, trying to control his senses. Yatato kaunteya puruṣasya vipaścitaḥ indriyāṇi. But the senses are so strong that at certain point it fails, even by the attempt of a very learned scholar who knows everything. Therefore, in social engagement, according to Vedic injunction, especially for the brahmacharis, not only brahmacharis, brahmachari means student life, and other three orders of life means vanaprastha, retired life, and sannyas life. These three orders of life are restricted from associating with women. Only householders, those who are married, they are simply allowed to associate with women. And others, just like the brahmachari, the vanaprastha, the sannyas, they are strictly restricted from association of women. And that stricture is said like this. matra sasya duhitrava. Navivikta sane vaset balavan indriyagrama viddāṅsa vikarsati. The restriction is given so strictly that one should not sit in a solitary place, even with his mother, with his sister, with his daughter. Why? Now, balavan indriyagrama viddāṅsa vikarsati. The senses are so strong that it may go wrong, even though he is a learned man. Here also the same thing is stated. The vipaścitaḥ, even one is learned man, he is trying to restrict yatato kaunteya. Indriyāṇi pramāthīni. Pramāthīni means the senses are so mad that it may go out of my control. So, the whole idea is that if we want to be spiritually advanced, then we have to minimize our materialistic way of life. Two things cannot go. If we want really a spiritual advancement of life, then unrestricted materialistic way of life cannot go. Under regulation, under restriction, under rules, we have to, because so long we have this body, we have to satisfy the material needs. It is not that I shall not eat, or I shall not sleep, or I shall not defend, or I shall not mate. No, there is allowed, it is allowed. But with a view that I will have to retire from all these things, these material needs. That is the point of view.